Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. It seems to many in the world of crypto that the next parabolic movement for the asset class is just a matter of time. I've got opinions in this video from all sorts of traders and technical analysts, and I'll share with you their thoughts on where the market's going in the short, mid, and long term. I do want to be clear at the outset, I am not a financial advisor, no financial background whatsoever, just an enthusiastic member of the XRP community who enjoys researching fundamentals mostly, but also I like tracking the opinions from chart analysts, and I compile them in videos like this so that you don't have to hunt them down yourself, and you can just get opinions from a whole bunch of different people out there. And make your own decisions as far as what makes sense. But this is not buying or selling advice, to be crystal clear. Now, before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button. And if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, you most certainly have come to the right place, because this is an XRP-centric channel, damn it. And that's how it's always gonna be. The market cap for the asset class, $256 billion as I record this. Bitcoin's at $9,423. XRP at 23.9 cents. Not too much notable activity over the last 24 hours, mostly trading sideways, although for the last maybe 16, 17 hours, most of that's been on the upside. Take a look at this article from crypto media outlet You Today. Peter Brandt says Bitcoin is in early stages of another parabolic move, and this is the gentleman who has over 300,000 followers on Twitter. He's been trading for several decades. He has a best-selling book on Amazon about trading, and he also called the Bitcoin all-time high and said it was going to go down from there, and oh my god, he was right. He also says that the bottom is in. I can't remember if he said a specific price. I actually don't even remember if it was in this article, but I think he was the one that said 6,500 was the bottom. I apologize if I'm mistaken, but he definitely said that the bottom's in for sure. That I know. But in his latest weekly crypto update, commodity trading legend Peter Brandt explained why he thinks that Bitcoin could be in the early stages of another parabolic move. Brandt says that Bitcoin remains within a massive bull channel that goes back to 2013. He noted that the top cryptocurrency recently started to redefine another parabolic advance, which is reminiscent of the previous bull market. The chart shared by Brandt shows that Bitcoin has finally managed to break out of a falling channel after forming an inverse head and shoulders pattern on the daily chart. And here's a quote: "That was important to complete the channel, because it was an indication that this retest of this massive lower boundary on the weekly chart is held." Here you go. The $6,500 level, which was tested in December, could end up being a significant bottom for the long period of time. So there you go. I guess that is what I was referencing there. And subheading, weekends are FOMO'd out. In his video, Brandt also noted that weekends have been FOMO'd out with the formation of the above-mentioned inverted head and shoulders chart. The fact that Twitter permabulls were waiting for a dip to the $5,000 level was a signal that the bottom was already in. And here's another quote: "So I think we've just got rid of a lot of people, and what that means is weekends are out. There is nothing more bullish to a market when you have a lot of bulls who are basically sold out." Tell you what, reading something like that reminds me of why I just don't try and time markets. There are some traders that are good at making a living out of that, but it's what is that, like 5% of traders actually make money? And so for me, I just not only do it out of interest in learning technical analysis, I'm more interested in tracking fundamentals. Oh my gosh, no timing the market for Moon Lambo. Let me just say that. All right, another piece from You Today. This is from chart analyst Dennis Surachuk, and he's got what he calls his XRP price prediction. So let me go ahead and scroll down here. Even though the rate of XRP has increased by almost 1% over the previous 24 hours, its short-term forecast is bearish. According to the chart, XRP has formed a local height at the 24-cent level, having confirmed the long-term bullish potential. But bulls need to accumulate their efforts before a new bullish wave. In this case, a more likely scenario is a decline to 23 cents, which might start at the end of the current month. And then XRP is trading at 23.47 cents at press time. So that's his opinion. Next, Bitcoin bulls still have technical advantage after, quote, normal pullback, says Jim Wyckoff. The Bitcoin price has recently dipped to an intraday low of 9,195, which made many traders question whether or not the bulls are still in the driver's seat. However, Kitco's chief analyst Jim Wyckoff is certain there is no need to worry about the dissipating rally. Wyckoff described the recent Bitcoin price drop as a normal corrective pullback preceded by a streak of stellar gains that were recorded earlier this week. Here's a quote: Bitcoin US dollar prices are lower in early US trading Friday on a normal corrective pullback from this week's good gains that saw prices hit an 11-week high, Wyckoff wrote. And of course, when this piece came out a little bit earlier today, that would have been prior to what I was citing for the vast majority of the last 24 hours, in which case, and now I've got XRP 24-hour chart on the screen. You can see here, it got down to the 24-hour low of 23.2 cents, but it kept on going up over the rest of the time period on this chart here. And then shoot, I think I lost my tab. Sorry, one second. Here we go. Bitcoin gained almost 12% in just 5 days and crossed the psychologically important $9,500 level, which is why such a correction was fully expected by traders. And then subheading, bulls are still in control. Bitcoin is about to have its best January in 7 years, which is why it's highly important for the bulls not to lose ground on the brink of the pivotal monthly close to keep the revival narrative alive. Wyckoff is convinced that they still have a short-term technical advantage over the bears and predicts more upside price action. Here's another quote: the Bitcoin bulls are enjoying a price uptrend in place on the daily chart and have the firm near-term technical advantage to suggest more upside price action in the near term. All right, next here. Price analysis. This is written from chart analyst Rakesh Upadhyay, who writes for Cointelegraph.com. And he's got a bunch of coins in, so let me scroll down to XRP. The bulls are struggling to sustain XRP above 23.26 cents. And this is 9 hours ago. So I think that a lot of that uptrend was missed, as was the case with the other piece that I cited here. But it's kind of fun to see what they wrote before they knew that the rest of the day things are going to trend upward. And he writes, this is a negative sign as it shows a lack of buyers at higher levels. There are several supports between 23.26 cents and the neckline of the inverted head and shoulders pattern. We anticipate the bulls to defend this support zone aggressively. If the price rebounds off the support zone, the bulls will make another attempt to scale above the resistance of 24.401 cents. If successful, a move to 31.5 cents is possible. Contrary to our assumption, if the XRP/USD pair breaks below the neckline, a drop to 20 cents is possible. As the pair is struggling to move up, we suggest traders reduce their risk by trailing the stops on the long positions to 21 cents. If you're a trader, if you want to follow his advice, you go ahead. That's your call. I'm not telling you to or not. But I'm not a trader, so I'm just going to continually buy. I buy on a set schedule regardless of price action. All right, next. This is from Awake, who is at Mr. Level Up on Twitter. And he writes this. Here's what I'm looking for from XRP on the short term. After it goes up, I can see maybe a little notch down. Then we go to the 30s, is in 30-cent range. But first, let's see if we get our notch up here. And so, again, that's two analysts in a row. There was Rakesh with Cointelegraph and now Awake here at Mr. Level Up, who is citing the potential for this. And here's the chart that he had associated with that particular tweet. So will that happen? Yeah, hopefully just a matter of time. Right? All right, next. This is from Woosen, another chart analyst here. Now, this is about Ethereum, but this is fascinating. I've got two chart analysts effectively saying the same thing. Here's the first one about Ethereum USD. And the reason that I think that this is fun to track, even though it's an XRP-centric channel, is that Ethereum did lead the altcoin rally in 2017, and there are a number of traders that think that may happen again in 2020. And just play the waiting game, we'll find out. But here, okay, Ethereum/USD. Stealth buying pressure, bullish divergence. In his first charts, he writes, because he got 4 charts on the screen. First chart, broke bullish from the falling wedge. Third, buyers outperforming sellers, dominating. Fourth, metrics for volatility. The bulls will break loose soon. And again, that he's talking about Ethereum/USD there. Bulls will break loose soon. And again, the implications for that could be big if some traders' theories on this are right as far as it potentially reading an altcoin rally. Here's a tweet from Patty Stash. Well, according to the weekly chart, the Ethereum/BTC trading pair has finally crept over the 2-year trendline resistance and is now writing it down as support. In my opinion, it's now inevitable that it'll at some point shove off support and finally start making some bigger, higher moves. So that's two analysts that are saying that. Now, Patty Stash, I've covered a lot of his tweets, and I hope that you didn't feel like I was just covering a broken record, because I appreciate Patty Stash providing updates, but he kept reporting, man, there's this 2-year trend line that it's just, we keep bumping against that resistance there. And finally, this is the first time that I can report that he has stated that we've kind of crept over that 2-year downward trend line. So is this now going to act as support? That's the question he's posing, and we'll just have to keep watching. But that could be something. Here's another tweet from chart analyst Patty Stash. Big fan of this, and also exactly what I'm anticipating. The move through 2020 and early 2021 will be like 2016 and 2017, #Bitcoin. Slow and steady people will start trickling back into the market. And that was a retweet of this from Crypto Wolf. He's at I am Crypto Wolf, and he writes, BTC roadmap. 1 year before we start the parabolic advance. Keep an eye to the green trend line until then. And here's the chart that he had with that. So he thinks we're going to have to play the waiting game a little bit longer, 1 year, before we see some serious parabolic action to the upside. But again, that's just one individual's opinion among many. All right. Now, last for this video, this is from Phil, and he's a writer, I think it's Cointelegraph. I think he's also a writer for Cointelegraph, but he's a notable chart analyst in the world of crypto. And he's got 38,800 followers on the Twitters. And he wrote this. Bitcoin heading into the CME close has some pretty important levels to watch. Avoid the bearish engulfing daily and close above $9,300, and I expect a bullish tone over the weekend, possibly retesting weekly resistance. I'm scalping long from $9,250. And it does look indeed today that we've bounced off that. Somebody responded to him and wrote, nothing happens on the weekend. Most of the times. Wait for next week now. To which Phil responded, it literally swang. I think he means swung. Is swang a word? He has to have been swung, right? It literally swang 8% last weekend. So what you were saying is false. Mic drop. Facts on facts. And so here's the tweet that he had associated with that. All right, well, that's it. You can let me know in the comments below where you think this is all going. I do love hearing from everybody. But I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.